her morning broadcast, Christine Chubbuck claimed she had to read a newscast to open Suncoast Digest, something she had never done before. Her co-workers were confused by the strange behavior, but let her anyway, even though her show's guests waited across the studio while Chubbuck sat at the news anchor's desk. During that first 8 minutes of her program, Chubbuck covered three national news stories and then a shooting from the previous day at the local restaurant Beef and Bottle at the Sarasota Brenton Airport. The film reel of the restaurant shooting had jammed and would not run, so Chubbuck shrugged it off and sat on camera. In keeping with the WXLT practice of presenting the most immediate and complete reports of local blood and guts news, TV40 prevents what is believed to be a television first and living cover and exclusive coverage of an attempted side. Then she drew a 38 caliber Smith& Wesson Model 36 revolver from under her desk. Christine Chubbuck was born in East Cleveland, Ohio, the daughter of George Fairbank Chubbuck and Margarita Augusta Peck. She had two brothers, Greg and Tim. Chubbuck attended the Laurel School for Girls in Shaker Heights, a suburb of Cleveland, and during her years at Laurel, she jokingly formed a dateless wonder club with other rejected girls who did not have dates on Saturday nights. Chubbuck attended Miami University in Oxford, Ohio for 1 year, majoring in theater arts, then attended Edithcott College in Beverly, Massachusetts, before earning a degree in broadcasting at Boston University in 1965. According to Christine Chubbuck's brother, Greg, she began dating a man in his 30s when she was 21, but her father did not approve of the relationship and she had never dated another man since then. Chubbuck worked for WVIZ in Cleveland between 1966 and 1967 and attended a summer workshop in radio and television at New York University in 67. That same year, she worked in Canton, Ohio and for 3 months at WKED TV in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. However, she did leave in 68 to spend 4 years as a hospital computer operator and 2 years with a cable television firm in Florida. Immediately before joining ABC affiliate WXLTV, now WWSB, she worked in the traffic department of WTOG in St. Petersburg. During that time, Chubbuck had moved into her family's summer cottage on Siesta Key and had designed her room there to look that of a young teenage girl. Later on, WXLT's owner Bob Newson hired Chubbuck as a reporter, but later gave her a community affairs talk show, Suncoast Digest. Production manager Gordon J. Acker described Chubbuck's new show to a local paper. It will feature local people and local activities. It will give attention, for instance, to the storefront organizations that are concerned with alcoholics, drug users, and other lost segments of the community. Page 5 of the article showed a smiling Chubbuck posed with a WXLT camera. Chubbuck took her position very seriously, inviting local officials from Sarasota and Bradenton to discuss matters of interest to the growing beach community. And on occasion, Chubbuck even incorporated homemade puppets she had used to entertain children when she volunteered at Sarasota Memorial Hospital. Chubbuck had attempted to overdose on drugs in 1970 and frequently made references to that event. She spoke to her family at length about her struggles with depression and suicidal tendencies, though she did not inform them of her intent to die by suicide on live television. She had been seeing a psychiatrist up until several weeks before her death. Her mother chose not to tell WXLT management about her daughter's tendencies because she feared Chubbuck would lose her job. Chubbuck's focus on her lack of intimate relationships is generally considered to be the driving force for her depression. Her mother later summarized that her height was simply because of her personal life was not enough. She blamed the coworkers that her 30th birthday was approaching and that she had no dates, and her brother later recalled a man that she had gone out with several times before moving to Sarasota, but agreed that his sister had trouble connecting socially. He believed her constant self deprecation for being dateless contributed to her ongoing depression. Chubbuck had unrequited crush on co-worker George Peter Ryan. She baked him a cake for his birthday and sought his romantic attention only to find out that he was already involved with sports reporter Andrea Kirby, who had been the closest co-worker to Chubbuck, but she was offered a new job in Baltimore, which had further depressed Chubbuck after their departure. On the morning of July 15th, 1974, Chubbuck confused co-workers by claiming she had to read a newscast to open Suncoast Digest, something she had never done before. The morning's guest waited across the studio while Chubbuck sat at the news anchor's desk during the first 8 minutes of her program. Chubbuck covered three national news stories and then a shooting from the previous day at the local restaurant Beef and Bottle at the Sarasota Brenton Airport. The film reel of the restaurant shooting had jammed and would not run, so Chubbuck shrugged it off and said on camera, in keeping with the WXLT practice of presenting the most immediate and complete reports of local blood and gut news, TV40 prevents what is believed to be a television first, a living cover, and exclusive coverage of another attempted site. Then she drew a 38 caliber Smith & Wesson Model 36 revolver and shot herself behind her right ear. Chubbuck fell forward violently, and technical director faded the broadcast rapidly to black. The station quickly ran a standard public service announcement, then a movie. Some television viewers called the police, while others called the station to inquire if the shooting was staged or not. A week before her died, Chubbuck told Night News editor Rob Smith that she had bought a gun and joked about killing herself on air. Smith would later state that he did not respond to what he thought was Chubbuck's sick attempt at humor and changed the subject. She had also hosted a party just days before the accident. Greg Sager, a WXLT sportcaster who later gained fame as a sideline reporter for Turner Sports, was among those who attended. She was having a great time. It was like, oh my god, this is such a different side to her, Sager recalled later. That was her going away party, and it was her chance to say goodbye to everyone. But of course, we didn't realize it at the time. It was just so shocking. Sader had been covering spring training for baseball when he learned of Chubbuck's suicide. After the shooting, news reporter Mike Summons found the papers from Chubbuck had been reading her newscast from, and they contained a complete script of her program, including not only the shooting but also a third person account to be read by whichever staff member took over the broadcast after the incident. He said her script called for her condition to be listed as critical. She had written something like TV 14 News personality Christine Chubbuck shot herself in a live broadcast this morning on a Channel 40 talk program. She was rushed to Sarasota Memorial Hospital where she remains in critical condition. Chubbuck was taken exactly to Sarasota Memorial Hospital, where she was pronounced dead 14 hours later. Upon receiving the news, a WXLT staffer released the information to other stations using Chubbuck's script. Chubbuck's body was cremated. The funeral ceremony was held on the beach where her ashes were scattered into the Gulf of Mexico. Approximately 120 people attended, including local officials who had appeared on her show, and three songs by her favorite singer, Roberta Flack, were played on the radio. The footage of her death is lost footage till this day. Numerous theories on what happened to the recording have been posed. One was the station owner, Robert Nielsen, kept it, and it was in the possession of his widow Molly, and indeed was confirmed in June 2016. The recording of Chubbuck's death exists and had indeed been in Nelson's possession, but was handed over to a very large law firm for safekeeping by Molly. She has no plans to make it publicly available, though recreations have been made, and the audio of the moment it happened is available. Some costs digest Chubbuck's morning show stayed on air for several years without her, with new hosts. Simons, the station director, said that Chubbuck's act was unrelated to his station. The crux of the situation was that she was a 29-year-old girl who wanted to be married and wasn't, he said in 1977, not caring that he is basically disrespecting her honor.